Welcome to the OneStop Systems presentation as part of SIGGRAPH 2020 Virtual. Today we're going to talk about XR rendering hardware that really can work from the user level all the way up through a whole studio of artists and the solutions that can be met from OneStop Systems hardware. My name is Jim Ison, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer at OneStop Systems. I've been here for 15 years and really seen a revolution in the rendering markets that the OneStop Systems hardware has served for many years. To go through those hardware, we're going to take it step by step in 6 different steps. Hopefully SIGGRAPH will allow you to move back and forth between them to see what's relevant to you. But really, we're going to start off with Magma eGPU solutions, which are single-user upgrades to existing platforms, go into rendering workstations and how to make more out of your workstation with expansion systems. And those first 3 pieces of the agenda really deal with single-user type of solutions. Once we get to section 4, we start talking about rendering servers for an entire group of artists, an entire studio. So these really scale out the GPU solutions even further from the first 3 sections. After that, no good rendering solution or XR solution is complete without high-speed performance storage. And in section 5, we will deal with the NVMe storage that OneStop produces in various form factors. And if you're tired of the tier 1 vendors that have one-size-fits-all type of solutions, OneStop actually goes a step further, and in section 6, we'll touch on some of the perfect fit solutions that can meet your needs. So to start off with the Magma eGPU, as eGPU implies, it's an add-on solution for user platforms just to get VR ready from a solution you have, or even make a solution you have into a developer station. So the Magma eGPU solution is a Thunderbolt-based solution. You might have heard of Magma. It's been around for 25 years. And has produced Thunderbolt products since Gen 1 years ago. And what this allows you to do is a multi-platform expansion product using Thunderbolt, so it works on Apple or PC-based solutions. Multi-vendor GPUs, as far as the AMD or NVIDIA GPUs, work in these solutions. And the Magma solution for the EB3T V3, which is our Gen 3 Thunderbolt 3 solution, has options for 1 to 3 slots. In addition to that, we're offering these products at a $399 special for SIGGRAPH that you can get from magma.com or onestopsystems.com website. A little bit deeper dive into the Thunderbolt eGPU. You see the open product here with a single high-performance GPU, this one being a double-wide GPU connected to a mobile workstation type platform, this one from Lenovo. And it can enhance those workstations by adding a lot more graphics content. In particular, the graphics cards from NVIDIA and AMD on the commercial side, whether it be the GeForce or the Radeon commercial products, or the professional products, which are the NVIDIA Quadros and Radeon Pro products. All of these would have plug-and-play operation, fully Apple and Intel Thunderbolt 3 certified solutions for anything with a Thunderbolt port on it. In the case of what I use, I have a HP mobile workstation, has a couple of Thunderbolt ports on it, and this Magma Thunderbolt solution can add a VR type solution if I wanted to watch or do some 3D gaming, or turn it into a rendering workstation with the power of a full-size GPU, all while having still the ability to be mobile. just to show you the latest GPUs that we carry, or that have been tested with this solution, is the full range of the RTX, GeForce, and Quadro from NVIDIA, as well as the Radeon and Radeon Pro lines from AMD, all certified to work in this solution. If you think that Thunderbolt is a bottleneck, which we hear quite a bit, that, hey, GPUs are 16 lanes worth of PCI Express, but Thunderbolt only uses 4 of those lanes. Well, we've had a lot of benchmarking done in this to show that it's not the bandwidth from the GPU to the CPU that makes the difference. It's the compute power you add, especially in things like Unigen. In the superposition benchmark, we get on a mobile workstation 10 times the performance of that benchmark running an eGPU solution, even though it's remote over Thunderbolt 3. Similar test results from Maya and even SolidWorks. If you're doing mobile workstation work, you're going to get a very large boost in performance, mainly because you have a full powered GPU to go to work for your application instead of a mobile workstation GPU that is embedded in your system and usually throttled down or has less memory than you can get in a full featured solution. So you really get the enhanced performance for anything from 3D gaming all the way to your mobile workstation graphics. To keep on the theme with a single user, and maybe you're not as mobile and you're looking for a workstation solution, OneStop Systems has a complete line of NVIDIA RTX solutions for professional rendering. What we're showing here is the Render Pro RTX workstation from OneStop Systems, which gets to take advantage of the large ecosystem from NVIDIA. And you see a lot of that here on your screen, anything from SolidWorks to Redshift, iRay, Pixar, all of those solutions will run on this RTX workstation. This is application ready, comes with all the GPUs and a 4 gigahertz workstation processor. Some people talk about how many different cores you have and core count being king, but what we find in our solutions is having that fastest processor available in the 4 gigahertz range makes the applications run better. So you have the GPUs, the NVMe drives, and the motherboard and processor all wrapped in a single solution with the latest GPUs from NVIDIA, in this case dual RTX 8000s that can have NVLink between the two and really give a professional feel to the workloads that you're going to be using in the rendering field. It's also very flexible and a single hardware vendor support for all of that. So if you bought your workstation from one vendor, your GPUs from another vendor, your NVMe drives, you put it all together, you have some issues with the latest software, now you have 4 people, who do you call? With this rendering workstation, OneStop Systems is a single point of contact with support in both the US and in Europe. PNY has done a lot of benchmarking in this field to show with V-Ray and with Redshift that you can get from 4 to 5.5 times the desktop performance on a workstation with the PNY Quadro GPUs. In addition to that, they've got some really good demos that NVIDIA PNY has put out on our workstation platforms using something like mixed reality from Dassault Systems CATIA with ray tracing on top of mixed reality with Quadro GPU, different light sources. The solution we're showing here has a vehicle with multiple light sources in augmented reality, in this case a trade show hall, that you can see both the horsepower of the workstation solution in doing the rendering as well as the augmented reality and the ray tracing of the different light sources from that augmented reality background. Now, as we have shown, we can have workstations ready to go, but if you already have a workstation and you want to add additional horsepower and make it do more professional workloads, we have expansion systems. And in this case, we're showing our EB3450, which is a Gen 3 PCI Express expansion from a HP Z workstation that can add 4 GPUs, in this case PCI Express 3.0, and as the new workstations arrive and they're PCI Express 4.0, we'll be able to also add acceleration to those. In this case, we have professional quality AMD, NVIDIA, Quadro, or even NVIDIA A100s connect by a single or even dual cables, PCI Express cables, back to your existing workstation. So even though you might have some GPU resources, this allows you to add even more as you get higher and higher workload requirements. So the tier 1 workstations that we work with are HP, Dell, Lenovo, also the OSS Ren Pro that we showed on the last section. Also, the expansion hardware itself comes with the full support, and you can bring your own GPU to add to these, or we can supply the GPU as well. For even more rendering acceleration, we have an 8 GPU expansion solution, the OSS 4UV. Those 8 GPUs, we have both a Gen 3 and a Gen 4 version of this that gives you flexible configurations. Really lets you take control of the number of GPUs you want to add, how many links you want to have to your workstation, and also you can add other cards to the solution, and whether they be single slot, dual slot, there's a lot of power here and a lot of cooling. Instead, you bring your own GPUs. This will take any standard GPU and I/O card, and it's really value priced. So this product was made for the rendering market. You've seen products like this from our competition. This one is definitely the price point to beat in the market. So if you need to add additional VFX and live action type products, type applications and workloads, this is the type of GPU solution that'll let you move up the chain into the performance that you need. 4K post-production workflows, and also nice rendering platforms for that can be added with the 4 GPU and 8 GPU solution. So now we're going to take the shift from, say, a single desktop or mobile workstation or desktop workstation and move into the server field. So in this particular case, we're going to talk about RTX servers, where you can do large scale out. We've already scaled out workstations, but now we're going to talk about scaling out your server solutions for the entire studio of artists. So you can see that scale here from the diagram, where we have an OSS EOS server. That's an expansion optimized server, this one in Gen 4, along with our 4UV, that's also Gen 4 PCI Express. So it's double the data rate of anything else that was out there just 6 months ago. So it's a server class solution that has render farm capabilities for an entire studio of artists, supporting NVIDIA optics and all the ray tracing engines, V-Ray, I-Ray, and at scale. This one showing 16 GPUs and RTX 8000s or A100s, which are all Gen 4 capable in the A100 field, to do real-time path tracing as you're doing your workloads. We're also a certified NVIDIA MPN partner at the OEM level, so you have that trusted partnership that OneStop and NVIDIA in the RTX server space can give you what you need in your solutions. These applications can handle multiple workloads, even in a single artist workstation when you're working on several, in this case, Maya applications at one time. And where it really excels, and this has been shown on NVIDIA demos before, that the batch rendering at Gen 4 speeds is tremendous. And what we're showing even from last year, where you can render 4-8 frames at the same time in 7 to 10 minutes, that's even been reduced further now with the Gen 4 and professional GPUs. So no rendering job is complete without high-speed storage. You just can't get those types of speeds with just a standard SATA hard drive in your workstation. So OneStop Systems also has a line of NVMe storage to keep up with those demanding workloads. So on the storage appliance side, we have the SB2000, which you can add an NVMe bunch of disks, in this case 24 drives, to any of those workstation or servers to really accelerate your application. The neat feature about the SB2000, you see the 24 drives, which is pretty standard. You can remove individual drives here, but that small 8-drive bay is actually, it's an 8-bay bulk hot swap capable 8-drive solution. So whether you have up to almost a petabyte, 768 terabytes of storage in this box, but you can remove those in 300 terabyte canisters by removing that 8 drives at a time. If you need to move a movie in the film industry or something from one location to another, moving that data over the network is going to be at the 700 terabytes. Is going to be a very large, time-consuming electronic move. Well, you can do old-fashioned sneaker net, pull out 8 drives at a time and move them to your other location, or even ship them. In addition to just a bunch of flash disks, in this case, we can also add NAS capability to the SB2000 with added SmartNIC, whether it be a Bluefield 2, Stingray 2, again, a PCI Express Gen 4 speeds that have an ARM processor built in the back and NAS capability with this same bulk 8-drive hot swap. To move NAS even further along, we have the Ison NAS. So OneStop Systems has purchased the Ison solution from SanDisk and Western Digital, and offers it now not only in the storage area network, which is on the far right in the Ion SAN, but also in Ion NAS, so you can do extreme file sharing for your rendering workloads at very high speeds. And what made Ion Accelerator software a leader in the industry is its extreme high speeds, 24, 32 gigabytes a second in Gen 3 and Gen 4, and its low latency real-time access. The way they do that is we strip off a lot of the extra, say, features that you're not using, so they're not impacting your application at the time, and if you need those features, you add them in as needed without impacting your performance for the features you don't need. So with now the single user, multi-user, and storage covered in the first 5 sections, now we move into the perfect fit solution. This is really a value add of OneStop Systems, where you can get the storage and acceleration hardware you need for your exact application that maybe you can't get from a tier 1 vendor. What we mean by that, there's really endless possibilities for your XR and rendering deployments. So as an example, we have on the left our OSS SDS. That's our short depth server. Started out as a customized accelerated server that really adds multi-GPU workload, or multi-GPU hardware with up to 16 drives in a hyper-converged solution. But where this is different than the industry is you might find that in something that's 30 or 32 inches deep, and you really don't have a place to put it. Your rack doesn't have that much space. This one, we go vertical, and it's only about 18 inches deep. So that allows it to fit in just about any rack solution under the stairs, wherever you want to install this system, including we've put it in medical equipment and in aircraft. When we start talking about those solutions, we do also have embedded accelerated solutions. Again, if you have a need for a small product, but you need a full-size GPU, not an embedded low-power type of GPU, the Puma products allow us to do that with a full NVIDIA GPU, in this case, an RTX GeForce solution. And then on the other extreme, when you have multi-servers and have even larger studio needs, we have rack-scale composable infrastructure type products. So with your project needing scale out of multiple servers, storage, and GPU solutions, this can really be interconnected all in a rack and composed for every artist as they need it. One artist needs 2 GPUs to render their solutions, while another needs 8. That can all be composed on the fly, and when they're done with their job, those resources and GPUs and NVMe drives get released back to the pool and can be reassigned to really get up to 50% more utilization on the resources that you're paying for. So you don't have GPUs sitting there idle and NVMe drives not being utilized for the speeds that you need in each batch workload. These products come in handy for live events. A short depth server has some rugged features. These things get moved from place to place, so that's a real good application for that. And we talked about the visual effects studios that have the multiple artists all needing to work in an environment that you're not having screaming fans all the time and a lot of heat being generated from individual workstations. If you have the composable infrastructure in the data center, in the room in the back, you've now moved all those resources out of the artist areas. So I'm going to wrap it up and thank you for attending the session. I have a few extra slides if you want to know, hey, where's OneStop Systems come from? How long have they been around? And if you want to see other applications that we deal with, you can stick around. Otherwise, thank you for attending the session here at SIGGRAPH 2020 in the virtual event. So for those that stuck around, quick overview of OneStop Systems. We've been around since 1998, been publicly traded for the last 3 years on NASDAQ under OSS. Main office located in San Diego with engineering and manufacturing locations in not just San Diego, but also Irvine, Salt Lake City, and Munich, Germany. So you might have heard of us in many other applications. And what I'm talking about is our products do high performance edge computing systems. So we do hardware that can be used across all the applications in the bottom left, including artificial intelligence and entertainment, but also from those perfect fit solutions that you saw in the presentation, also deal very well in medical imaging, military aircraft that are using artificial intelligence, autonomous vehicles because of the ruggedized designs, and because of the high-speed instrumentation and data collection. And that includes servers, workstations, compute accelerators, and flash storage products across the OneStop Systems product line. Many of you have probably seen the 16-way GPU solution in the upper right section, along with some of our ruggedized flash storage solutions at many of the trade shows. And these products have led to multiple awards and a very fast-growing company in OneStop Systems. So thanks again for sticking around a little bit extra, and we look to see you back at trade shows starting next year.